up, y'all? It's Crew, also Araneae Storm, your cosmic root work astrologer, your cosmic root work astrologist specializing in Mars activations, as well as North Node and South Node consultations. So if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can hit me up at araneastorm.wix.com/info, and you can find me on all social media at Araneae Storm. You are now tuned in to the Pluto series, Pluto in Aquarius to be exact. So if you are coming in for the first time, welcome to my humble abode. Okay, welcome to my humble abode. Like I said, we will be talking about Pluto in Aquarius today. We'll be talking about the energy of Pluto first, and then we'll be talking about how Pluto and Aquarius kind of do this little jig and dance together. I'm not gonna hold y'all. Like I said, all links, social media, tapestry, artwork, all of that stuff is below. So if you like to check that out, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. And then we're gonna update real quick. We'll be talk about the planets. I know I said I was gonna do houses, but we'll talk about the planetary series, right? So all the planets, before we jump into the birth chart, I wanted to kind of talk about all this stuff. So we'll talk about all the planets first. I feel like, did I talk about the planet? I might have talked about the planets already, y'all. I gotta go back in my stuff to see. But if I haven't talked about the planets, we're gonna talk about the planets first. Then we'll talk about aspects and degrees and stuff like that, and then we'll jump into the birth chart. I'm really trying to break this down for y'all, so y'all are not like, so when we are starting to talk about the birth chart and things like that, y'all are not like thrown off and stuff. And then by the time, I'm gonna have to look at my Patreon to see if it's been approved and stuff, but then by the time my Patreon and stuff like that is approved, we'll be Gucci. Okay, so yes, let's get into it though, y'all. Pluto in Aquarius generation. All right, so this is Pluto in Aquarius, will be 2023 and out. I don't think we've experienced Pluto in Aquarius just yet. This is gonna be interesting. So we start in 2023 for Pluto in Aquarius. We will be rebuilding that motherfucking system though. I'm gonna tell you that, to my Pluto in Aquarius babies. Y'all are babies now, but y'all will be the innovators of this new world. What we see, how we are moving in this world. Pluto, let's talk about Pluto first in this sense, and then we'll kind of bring the two together. I feel like Pluto likes Aquarius in this sense. Of just, if we're just talking about on the positive or higher vibrational frequency, I feel like Pluto really, really appreciates Aquarius. But when we talk about the energy of Pluto, this is ruler over Scorpio. So Pluto as a planet rules over Scorpio. This is the energy of the death and transformation and the rebirth cycle. So the phoenix going into the ashes and then rising up anew, right? Rising into the phoenix that it's meant to be in this life, right? In this world. And so it wants to come transform. It wants to bring those things that are beneath the surface and bring them up to the light so we can see it, and then we can transform it. We can alchemize it into something anew, right? It is where we get our energy and our source of power. This is where we talk about like obsessive things that we can become a little bit too obsessed with, because Scorpio energy can definitely be that. But this is also where we can talk about the mind and the psychology of it, the way the world works, the way people think, the way they think, the way people do what they do. So excellent psychologists, excellent, like I said, with getting into the grit of things and how things work and stuff like that. And definitely more so Pluto in Aquarius, for sure. Yes, and also too, Pluto also comes to expose the corrupt. So those things that have been hidden, lies, deceit, manipulation, corruption. Once again, Pluto comes to dig that out, see it for what it is, and expose it, right? So a lot of things are getting exposed during this time, but I think when we talk about Pluto with the Aquarian energy more so than the Capricorn energy, we're putting that energy into the people's hands versus putting energy into this constructed or this constructive system that tries to keep people disempowered, right? Or tries to keep this control over the people. So when Pluto comes into Aquarius, once again, this is the rebuilding of a system, but rebuilding of a system that's actually for the people. This is focusing on more so the individual than the general collective of the people. right? So like, what are your individual qualities? What are your individual gifts that you can actually bring to the table, so we are able to transform, right? This is also too, in the past, I feel like a lot of times when I just look at history and the way that we've moved, we look at people more so to be saviors, like that one person in the group to be like the savior of all humanity and all. And so when that person either gets God or gets killed, like the morale of the energy kind of gets put subdued a little bit. Not to say that it completely goes away, but it gets subdued because you're looking to this person to kind of give you and boost you. Not with Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius, because Aquarius is really good about seeing people's strengths and people's gifts and putting people in place so they can really shine in those things, versus like a Pluto and Leo that's like, oh, well, I'm the leader. I'm the leader of this. I'm the head honcho. It's like, no, Aquarius will be like, okay, so I see that you're really, really good at this. I see you're really good at this. Okay, where can I put you so you can really shine in that area and do what it is that you come to do? It's really good. Aquarius energy is really good at seeing people's mission and vision, right? Not forcing their vision and mission, but saying, oh, you seem like you're pretty, put you here, so you could really shine in that, right? And so Aquarius comes in, it's a post-Capricorn world, it's a post-Capricorn, this idea of structure and this idea of vision of this world of everybody being the same, everybody thinking the same, everybody talking the same, everybody walking the same. Aquarius is like, I like to do different shit. It likes to bring up those taboos. It likes to bring up those things that have been discarded, or those things that have been played off as one and the same. Aquarius doesn't want to be the same as everybody else. Aquarius wants to do different shit. Aquarius wants to be in its own lane, right? It wants to just be in that energy, and it's comfortable being in that energy. If Aquarius feels like it's doing something the same as everybody else, or Aquarius feels like it's like following in the line of other people, Aquarius was like, I'm good. I'm okay with that. I don't want to do the same thing as everybody else is doing. And sometimes Aquarius can kind of go to that extreme and do completely opposite just because everybody else is doing it. Or just sometimes too, if Aquarius is on a higher frequency, it just knows intuitively that it's different. It doesn't need to try to prove itself to do different things. It just knows it's just different, So honoring those individual qualities within us, honoring those individual gifts within us, and actually allowing those gifts to really make themselves be known, right? And so this is the visionary. I put the new world order. So the visionaries start to come out, the new world leaders start to come out, but also not only just the new world leaders, but people who are actually progressing and trying to progress. And when I say progression, it doesn't necessarily mean, no, really trying to progress the fucking world forward, okay? Pluto and Aquarius energy, all right? This is where we're talking about free thinkers, critical thinkers, people that are actually critically trying to look at the world in a way of like, how can we take this thing that we've known to be true in the past and like really push it futuristic moving forward, seeing that bigger picture and moving forward. This is space, technology, and travel, right? So the way we've been talking about Mars, right? Everybody going to Mars because the world might be going to shit, this post-apocalyptic world, whatever. Okay. But the way we see space, the way that we're starting to talk about the world, conspiracy theories is another one I talked about with Pluto Scorpio, but also Pluto Aquarius as well. Conspiracy theories, the things that were known as conspiracy theories, a lot of those things that we call conspiracy theories are actually going to be true theories, right? The way we see technology and use technology. I think technology, especially when we talk about the nervous system of Aquarius. So I honestly feel like the powers, like the superheroes and stuff that we see on TV, quote unquote, like we have those abilities, and a lot of us, we don't need experiments to actually tap into those abilities. We just have them. We just don't realize that we have them. But they're very real, because where do you think they come from, guys? Where do you think those superpowers come from? It's not just an experiment. These are natural gifts that we have that that people have tried to suppress, right? Spiritual ascension. This is where we talk about before we get into Pluto and Pisces, these are like the because Aquarius is the mind, so this is where we start experiencing those ascension symptoms heavy as Pluto begins to transit into Aquarius. The civil rights, right? Civil rights and humanitarianism. We're also going to start questioning, what does civil rights even mean when things have never been really civil since this country has been created. Okay. It has not been equal since the country, and I don't even think equality is just goes way beyond the ramifications of what this world has established as a foundation. That's another conversation. We'll talk about that because I'm gonna make a full separate video for Pluto and Aquarius and really extend it out for real, right? Because we experienced that last year, like a dip in it. You seen what happened there? Now we're just in it. We're gonna be in it soon. New tribes, bonds, alliances, and things like that start to form. And like I said, the individual level up, really diving into that shadow self, really diving into those shadow qualities of ourselves, especially to my Saturn Aquarius generation. You already know what it is. Our Saturn, so digging into those, like, what things are you doing? Are those things that you're doing in a way of to serve your ego? Are those things that you're doing within your life, whatever that is, really for the betterment of humanity, for the betterment of the people, right? So sharing wisdom with other people, really diving into the psyches of the mind and how we can actually really form those ideas into this material plane, right? And so, yeah, this is like my little summary of Pluto and Aquarius. We're going to finish this out once again, like I said, with Pluto and Pisces. And, yeah, y'all, we'll get deeper into this stuff. So don't think this is like a summary so you kind of know the energy that's playing out here. But like I said, we'll finish it up with Pluto and Pisces. We're going to take a week break so I could kind of catch up, right? And then we'll be talking about the planets in themselves, the planetary energy within themselves, if I haven't already done that already. And then we'll be moving into the houses, and then we'll move into the actual birth chart within itself. So aspects, degrees, and stuff like that. Okay. All right, y'all. You already know what it is. It's a rainy storm checking in, checking out without a motherfucking doubt. Pluto Pisces next. Deuces.